Hi, my name is Bunton Cole, and I'll be delivering the Visual Functional Mathematics Level 1 course over the next few weeks. If you're attending this program now, it means that you have successfully passed your entry-level exam, or you have been considered eligible for this program. Either way, congratulations and welcome. The Visual Functional program comprises of 3 sections. Section 1 is dealing with numbers. Section 2 is dealing with measuring, and Section 3 is dealing with data handling. The total lessons you'll be attending is about 20, 6 from Section 1, about 8 from Section 2, and the rest from Section 3 data handling. I hope you enjoy the course, and I'll try to do my best to make sure it's an enjoyable one. We will start with numbers. And for this lesson, we're going to look at the structure of big numbers, why we should split big numbers in groups of 3, finding the lowest and highest number from a group of numbers, putting whole numbers in order. We will also look at a scale and number line, and finally you'll have some practice questions to test your knowledge, and also you'll have the answers to help you identify your strengths and what area of the program you need to improve on. In maths, there are keywords which we must learn, because those of you who were in my entry level 3 course will remember I told you that maths is whatever language you speak. However, it comprises of both your language and certain names and keywords which you need to understand the meaning of. So you will be looking at keywords and phrases like numbers, digits, number line, negative numbers, ordering, and scales. During the course of the lesson, we will deal with these words and we will get to understand their meanings. Let's look at splitting big numbers. You need to know the names of all the columns before you can split them. For example, the number 1,321,648 can be split into 7 parts. As the table below shows you, you have million, hundreds, 10,000s, thousands, hundreds, tens, and units. So the number is spread across to read 1,300,000, 10,000, 1,000, 600, 4 tens, and 1 unit. Let's look at it more in detail. As you can see here, the 1 million is at the top, the 300,000 next, the 20,000 next, the 1,000 follows, followed by 600, 40, and 8 units. Obviously, you have to add these numbers together, and you will have the total of 1,321,648. And this is how you write it. If you look at the bottom there, it reads 1,321,648. You need to be very careful. You cannot say 1,321,648. It doesn't sound right. With numbers, it's very common and natural to try to find either the lowest number, the highest number from among a group, or even to put them in order. So let's start by finding the lowest number. First, find the numbers with the fewest digits. From these, the one with the lowest first digit is the lowest number. Sometimes you have numbers in the set with two of the same digits. For example, 2 can start with 4. So if that is the case, then you move on to the next digit after that. So if the first digit are the same, look at the other digits in turn. For example, next, look at the second digit and only keep the numbers with the lowest digit. Here is the example. 4 people compare how many miles their cars have gone. Jeremy's car has done 81,638 miles. Gray's has done 44,653 miles. Maggie's 106,464 miles. And Fraser's has done 46,150 miles. Whose car has done the least number of miles? Now think for a minute, why would you compare car mileage? Obviously, if you want to buy a car, especially if you want to buy a second-hand car, then you will look for the car that's got the least mileage, because that is the car that is likely to last you longer and give you less problems in terms of maintenance. So, 3 steps. What you will do is you find the numbers with the fewest digits, then you find the numbers with the lowest first digit, and then you find the number with the lowest second digit. So in a collection of numbers, 81,638, 44,653 and 46,150, the one with the lowest digit is 44,653. Obviously, that is the lowest among all the numbers you have to compare. So Gray's car has done the least number of miles we're talking about. Now let's find the highest number. 3 steps again, as we did when we were finding the lowest number. You first find the numbers with the most digits. From these, the one with the highest first digit is the highest number. If the first digits are the same, look at the other digits, compare them. So for example, you look at the second digit and only keep the numbers with the highest digit because you're looking for the highest number. Find the highest number from this list. 158,573, 3,147, 215,608, 5,410, 4,683, 52,010. You find the numbers with the most digits. So in this case, 6 digits. So you have 158,573 and 215,608. Among those, because you're looking for the highest digit, 215,608 would be the one you will select. And that is the highest digit because the other digits are less. Okay, they are either 5 digits or 4 digits as the case might be. So 215,608 is the highest number. In addition to finding the highest and lowest number, you will need to be able to put numbers in order. It's a similar process. The only thing is you have to do with all the numbers in the series. First, sort the numbers into groups with the same number of digits. Numbers with more digits are larger and numbers with fewer digits are smaller. Then put each digit in order. Start by looking at the first digit. If the first digits are the same, move on to the second digits, then the third, and so on. Let's look at this example. Put these numbers in order from largest to smallest. 29,635, 140,246, 301,564, 468, 894, 93,645, 4,545, and 168. You can see that the difference is wide, the range between the numbers is wide, but you have to take all of them into account because you're putting all of them in their correct order. First, put the numbers into group, then the one with the most digits should go into the first group. In this case, you have 4 groups. You have 6 digits, 5 digits, 4 digits, and 3 digits. So you have to find all the 6-digit numbers, you put them together. All the 5 digits number, you put them together. The 4 digits numbers, you put them together. And then the 3 digits numbers, you put them together. Then you have to order them accordingly, starting from the highest to the lowest, or from the lowest to the highest, depending on what you were asked to do. So in this case, you have 301,000, that is on the second step, you have 301,564, and then 140,246. Then in the 5 digits group, you have 93,645, 29,635, and in the 4 digits group, you have only 4,545, and then in the 3 digits group, you have 3 numbers, 894, 468, and 168. So the answer is the highest. You start from the highest, 301,564, then followed by 140,246, followed by 93,645, then 29,635, then 4,545, and then 894, 468, and 168. Right. But ordering numbers is one thing. Finding the highest and lowest is another thing. But then you have to be able to do some calculations with numbers. And some of these calculations might involve negative numbers. Now, what are negative numbers? A negative number is a number that is less than 0. What we mean is, imagine if you have your bank account and you overdraw. I'm sure all of us know what being overdrawn is. It means that you owe the bank. You do not have any money again, and on top of that, you have to pay back some money. That is the amount you're overdrawn by. Now, that overdrawn amount is less than 0 because it is not your money. You have to pay it back. That's exactly it. But that can apply not only to your money, but it can apply to things like temperature, as we would look here. Now, the number line you're seeing ranges from 7 on the right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0 in the middle. And then it's like you start counting again upwards, but only it's a negative. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, and -7. Now, the bigger the negative number gets, the smaller it is compared to 0. Okay, you can see there are lower numbers and then higher numbers. So when you're comparing figures like that, you have to be careful. You know what you're doing. All negative numbers are to the left of the 0. All positive numbers are to the right of the 0. The further right you go, the higher the number. And the further left you go, the smaller the number. That means it's less than 0. Use a number line to work out differences. You can use a number line to work out differences between two numbers. For example, the difference between a negative number and a positive number. The temperature is the best scenario to look at when you're doing something like this. So, in London, the temperature is -2 degrees Celsius. In Paris, it's 6 degrees Celsius. What is the difference in temperature between the two places? draw a number line and then you count from -2 to 6. Don't forget that negative numbers start from -1, -2, -3 and so on to the left, and then positive you count up to the right. So if you count from -2 degrees Celsius to 6 degrees Celsius, you'll find out that the difference in temperature is 8 degrees Celsius. Another way you can look at numbers is to use a scale. And now when we talk about scale, we're talking about the measurements you're using, not the scale you stand up. That is the machine. Whereas what you read, the information the scale provides for you, that is the scale. In weight, you're looking at grams and kilograms. In temperature, you're looking at degrees Celsius. Okay? In distance, you're looking at millimeters, centimeters, and meters. Okay? What you use to measure is just the tool. So don't forget that. So if we look at this example, the thermometer is showing 2 degrees Celsius. Now if you want to do a calculation, each line must be what? 1 degree Celsius. So the thermometer is showing 2 degrees Celsius. Let's look at this example. What would the thermometer read if the temperature drops by 6 degrees from 2 degrees Celsius? Yes, you start counting down. And don't forget, when you get to the negative, it increases as the lower it gets. So you work out what the thermometer reads now. You count down 6 places, and the thermometer would read -4 degrees Celsius. Let's look at another example. Work out what the temperature would be if it increases by 11 degrees Celsius. And the answer would be, you look at the thermometer, what it reads now, and then you add 11 degrees to that. So you count 11 degrees, and the thermometer from -9 degrees, the thermometer would read 2 degrees Celsius. You look at the thermometer, what it reads now, which says -9 degrees Celsius, and then you add 11 degrees Celsius by counting 11 places upwards, and then you will find out that it reads 2 degrees Celsius. What have we learned? We've learned that splitting large numbers help us to work with and make sense out of numbers. We've learned how to arrange whole numbers in orders. We've learned how to compare numbers to find the largest and smallest number. We've learned what negative numbers are and how to use number line to work with negative numbers. We've learned that scales can be used as number lines. Okay, now it's always important to check what you've learned and what gaps that are in your knowledge so that you'll be able to improve. It's called self-assessment, and you've got to make sure you do it right. And the way to do it is attempt the questions you're going to see next. Then, when you get your answer, you check by looking at the answers I've provided. If you don't follow that method, you will not be helping yourself and you'll struggle at the exam. So, attempt the questions first and then check to make sure you got it right. If you don't get it right, remember, it's okay to make mistakes because we learn from it. But make sure you correct those mistakes. I've got 3 sets of questions, and set 1 is on the basic numbers. Write the number 503,425 in words. Remember, you've got to be able to express yourself in your language. Look at these numbers and find the lowest number, and B, find the highest number. The list below shows how much money 6 people spend on their holiday last year. And then you've got 6 people there, and the whole idea is to compare what they've done, identify who spent the most, who spent the least, and in what order they spend their money. These are the answers to those 3 questions. Practice question set 2. This is on number line. You've got 3 questions. Read it carefully and try to answer all of those questions. Okay? Attempt all of them, even if you're not sure whether you're doing the right thing. And once you've done that, you check your answers, which are provided on the next slide. And then finally, do the same for set 3 practice questions, which are based on negative numbers and reading and understanding the thermometer. Okay, there are 3 questions. Attempt them, write the answers down, and then check them later on. That is your answer. Okay, so that's your lesson on numbers, the first of 6 lessons you'll be getting on numbers. The next lesson will be on addition and subtraction of numbers.